This is Newcap News with Brian Lentz.
Well, with Remembrance Day a little more than a week away, it's time to reflect on those who made the ultimate sacrifice to defend our freedom. Some soldiers who come back home have wounds that we can't see, and in this week's edition of Healthy Living, Darcy Ropchan takes a look at post-traumatic stress disorder and how it can affect our veterans.
Being irritable, always on edge, a change in personality, these are all signs of post-traumatic stress disorder.
PTSD basically really affects the person's body and mind, okay? And it is as though there's fragments and parts of the memory and the experience that have become somewhat locked in their system, in their brain, in their mind, in their body.
Hamilton explains that PTSD can manifest itself as nightmares or flashbacks to an event. The body is also in a state of hyperarousal. The fight or flight response is always activated, meaning a person is in a state of constant stress. She specializes in a form of psychotherapy called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing.
But when it is time to work on reprocessing a traumatic memory, okay, we do activate the memory of that experience. We use a very specific, what we call bilateral stimulation to activate the brain left and right, in a sense, and this leads to a desensitizing effect.
Clinical therapy is crucial in helping treat PTSD, but it's important to let people know that they are not suffering alone and that it's okay to not be okay. That's the message Blake Emmons, founder of Wounded Warriors, wants people to know. That's an organization that helps veterans and first responders suffering from PTSD.
We're coming up on the time that we as Canadians do an incredible job of honoring those that have paid the supreme sacrifice. And I'm sitting watching it, and I said, what about me? What about us? What about us guys that are still here?
Wounded Warriors travels across Canada providing support for those affected by PTSD through bonding. They engage in relaxing group activities that creates a sense of friendship and support while trying to end the stigma against PTSD and mental illness.
Veterans aren't just a bunch of old farts that hang around the Legion and drink beer. These are young people. What we've been very successful with here in Saskatchewan particularly is removing the stigma that the public have with regards to mental health.
Darcy Ropchan, Newcap News.
The new snowfall and dropping temperatures bring with it slippery roads. To help increase safe travel, the city is working hard to clear these slick conditions.
In the last 24 hours, obviously, we've received a snow event, and we have sanders out. That's our primary way of dealing with street issues. Interesting fact, the city has about 1,100 intersections, so obviously we keep busy trying to make sure that those are safe and passable.
After major snowfalls, the top priority roads include highways as well as high traffic areas.
Highway 17, 44th, primary routes such as school zones and those sort of areas would be the higher areas and where the more public safety concerns are.
While the city works to clear the roads, there are things you can do to help stay safe.
It's winter driving conditions. It's a new driving environment, so leave a few minutes earlier, adjust your driving habits, slow, give yourself more cushion between vehicles. Understand that the roads are going to be slippery. Make sure that your vehicle is mechanically maintained and the tires are proper and ready for the season.
Keeping your driveway and sidewalks free of ice and snow will also help reduce accidents. The local SPCA and the Lloydminster Interval Home have partnered for Family Violence Prevention Month to grow awareness of the connection between family violence and pets.
It's just important to realize that, again, family violence does impact everyone in the households, whether it's people or four-legged friends. You know, the reality is they're a bargaining chip in these situations, and it's extremely unfortunate.
There is an increase in studies that show a link between animal cruelty and human violence, but many pet owners that are in a situation of domestic abuse often stay because of the animal.
That were experiencing family violence or abuse would oftentimes stay in the home for fear that if they left, that the animal would be injured or put at risk.
Many people are also hesitant to leave a violent situation out of fear that they will not be able to take their pet. Here in Lloydminster, the SPCA will house a victim's animal and even spay and neuter them at no cost.
The Alberta SPCA launched a pet safekeeping program back in 2013 and partner with a variety of different shelters across Alberta. to allow or provide some sheltering for animals in the interim while people are in the temporary shelters.
Through the partnership of the SPCA and the Interval Home, a dog silhouette will be traveling throughout the city for Family Violence Prevention Month. A staple on the Midwest Ag calendar is the annual Stockade Roundup, celebrating the various breeding programs and giving consumers a chance to see the best beef in the region. In this week's Agriculture Report, Gerard Lampow finds out what's new in the ring this year.
And that there's lots of interest in the cattle industry to come to Lloydminster to showcase cattle.
The annual Stockade Roundup is now in its 39th year at the Lloyd X. So area producers are showing off the successes of their various breeding programs, including a breed we have not seen in Lloydminster for many years, Maine Anjou. We also have champions already established, a champion bull and cow from Black Gold Simmental, weighing some 2,200 pounds and 1,900 pounds respectively. And the pride of Saskatchewan is here, the homegrown Speckled Park.
The polled and horned Hereford, Shorthorn and Speckled Park take the ring on Thursday.
Friday, we got our Black Angus and our Red Angus shows, and cap that all off with our Supreme on Friday night.
That involves lights and pyrotechnics to get some hype in the cattle industry, leading to the crowning of a champion bull and cow. The Cattleman of the Year award is also being handed out on Friday to Werner and Chris Wennekamp, who farm Devondale Stock Farm southwest of Lloydminster. They have 4 children, 2 of whom have become vets. Stockade wraps up on the weekend when the juniors take to the ring.
Saturday, well, we got our junior show, which is still growing. We got lots of numbers in that, so lots of young people who are the future of the industry, future of the ag industry, that are here showcasing their breeding programs and showcasing their talents as show people.
New this year is the Prospect Heifer and Steer Jackpot Show. Stockade is being streamed on the internet, so people who can't make it can bid online for their choice beef.
Look up DLMS and it's on there. You can watch these shows from there. They broadcast the sale online, so you can register as a bidder online and actually bid. So I can sit in Regina and bid on cattle that are for sale here Friday night.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
The current NHL was the last topic our Lance Phillips touched on in part 3 of his exclusive one-on-one interview with ex-NHLer Theo Fleury. In part 4, the conversation switches to a little-known topic.
When you think of kids like Sidney Crosby, I still call them kids, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, even Ovechkin, Alex Ovechkin,
yep.
How good do you think those players would have been if they played in your era?
Yeah, they would have been superstars. Same.
Like, would they have been better than they are now, do you think? Would they have been more productive than they are now?
Yeah, of course, because the game's different, right? The game's different. Those high-skilled guys would be great, you know. It would just be a matter of how tough they were, because it was a lot tougher, you know. Like, we were actually breaking sticks over each other, and there was no penalties back then, right? You know, and how they were able to manage the hooking, the holding, and the grabbing, and all of that. But, yeah, those guys still, but that's the funny thing, you know, we get a Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid coming in the NHL, and it's like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. Well, when we were playing, there was 20 to 30 Connor McDavids and, you know, Sidney Crosbys and Austin Matthews that were playing in our era, and you know, and people say, well, yeah, you'd be great in this era. No, probably not. I'd be in the penalty box all the time. You know, I love the era that I played in. You know, that's, you know, I loved it, you know, where men were men, and, you know, you had to play a certain way, and you know, obviously my body probably would say something different now that I'm almost 50 and dealing with all the injuries and stuff from the past, but, you know, it was a great time, and you know, I got to play with the greatest players that ever played this game, you know, Gretzky and Lemieux and Messier and Lindros and Sakic and Yzerman, you know, and the list just goes on and on and on, you know. Jerome McGinley was a rookie, you know. I got to mentor him and see him, you know. We often had many conversations in the bar stool. I'm telling Iggy, you're going to be one of the best players in the game. And he would look at me like, really? You know? No, I'm telling you, you know. So yeah, it was a good time, and I have lots of great memories of hockey. I have no bitterness or resentment. You know, I think if I was in a place of actually wanting help, there was lots of people in the NHL that would have, you know, been able to help me, but I wasn't ready for help, and you know, I had to go on my own journey and, you know, discover the beauty of the you know, New Mexico desert to you know, sort of, you know, figure this all out.
I'm not a country music fan. I know you are,
Yeah.
and I have listened to some country music. I am who I am.
Yes. Yes.
How enjoyable was it to make an album of country music?
Well, it was very cathartic, and you know, it was you know, I wouldn't say, like, I would say there was bits and pieces and pockets of my life where I had lots of joy and lots of really cool stuff, and you know, my fondest memories were sitting beside my grandfather, listening to him play the fiddle, overlooking this like incredible scene of the Assiniboine Valley in Manitoba. And you know, the album is like a tribute to him and saying, you know what, thanks for, you know, giving me the gift of music, right? Because we all discover music in a different way.
Guess I'll be walking. You get the truck I'm told. Just like an old time country song. You play it backwards, we might all get along.
The Pinty's Grand Slam of curling may be over, but on its last day, Lance Phillips stopped by to check out the Junior Grand Slam program and files this report on curlers that may be only a few short years away from being the next household name in curling.
The junior curling program isn't as junior as one might expect, given the talent level of some of these curlers. It's a program designed to help aid the development of young athletes, taught by a rink well known to the curling world.
We're just giving them little tidbits that we hear from over the years, and it'll make small differences, maybe even one shot a game for their team, and that might mean some more won games.
It goes without saying that the junior curlers receive a lot of valuable instruction through the program, but the most rewarding experience isn't something many would expect.
I don't know, it's kind of nice to see the, like, with the elite teams and see what they practice and see what they have to say about our slides and deliveries, and it's nice to get out here, curl on arena ice. That's probably the most exciting on my part. Always watching on TV.
It's always a good feeling getting to see the look on the kids' faces when they are, you know, just walking to the arena, knowing that they're going to play on arena ice for the first time, and getting to meet some of us curlers. You know, it's a great feeling for us as much as it is for them.
And according to Carruthers, this particular group of curlers didn't need a lot of instruction.
These kids in particular here, their skills are right up there with the best of some of the juniors that I've seen. It's just some small tweaking, like little fine things on how they release the rock, even where they hold their hands for sweeping. Just those little minor corrections that I guess some of the professionals know.
Honestly, just like my the rock placement before I slide out of the hack is the biggest thing they changed, I think.
Of course, it takes Carruthers back to a time when he was young and had skills to learn and hair to lose.
Yeah, it takes me right back. It's for at least a couple minutes I forget that I'm 32 and balding. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun being on the ice with the kids.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.